On the heels of a major defeat at the hands of Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel and facing Damian Priest's challenge for his World Heavyweight Championship, Gunther returned to Raw tonight to address the Archer of Infamy. What did the Ring General have to say, and what else did the flagship show of WWE have in store for its fans? Find out now with this recap of tonight's show, for this is Ridiculously Raw. Hey there, welcome everybody to Ridiculously Raw, the most must-see show on YouTube and Streaming.com today. I am your host, Anthony Florio, joined by the Phenom Michael Bullock, fresh off another one of our legendary Raw chats as always. We are awaiting maybe the presence of good old MF Michael Fletcher. If he comes in, we'll catch him up on what he missed. If not, then hopefully we'll have him back with us Wednesday night for Wednesday Night Madness. Monday Night Raw on this Veterans Day night, and we say thank you to all of you, to all of the brave men and women who have served our country over the years, past and present. You have our undying gratitude here tonight. And Raw tonight, live from the Van Andel Arena in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It's a live show tonight, but it'll be a taped show next week. So this is a double taping. They're taping next week's show right now as we speak. So with that being said, let's start it off. This Monday Night Raw live from the Van Andel Arena, Grand Rapids, Michigan, on the USA Network. We started it off with an in-ring segment. World Heavyweight Champion Gunther kicked off the show, poised to address his new number one contender, Damian Priest. Before he could say much of anything, the former champion hit the ring, daring the Ring General to say it to his face. Priest told Gunther that his vibe was dead, that the insurmountable monster who dominated WWE was no longer that. He was instead a shell of himself. Ludwig Kaiser interrupted the proceedings, only for Gunther to cut off his rant. And then Priest leveled Kaiser, and the segment came to an end without the Ring General ever denouncing the Archer of Infamy's claims. And this went on to establish the story of the match that will now take place at Survivor Series War Games and set up a match later in the show, Damian Priest versus Ludwig Kaiser. This was a great segment that played on the previous promo segments between Priest and Gunther. This time, it is the typically brash champion who is reeling from a loss that left him doubting himself as he prepares for a champion more confident than ever. And Priest rocked a Bad Bunny t-shirt, begging the question, could the top streaming artist in the world be on his way back to WWE? Priest said, the vibe of yours, Damian Priest said, this vibe of yours, it started fading because you started doubting yourself. You were just in Saudi, and I saw that vibe starting to fade even more because you were pinned by Cody Rhodes. He said, you won't take your shot because if you did, I'd drop your ass right there. And then Gunther shut down Ludwig Kaiser's promo, drawing oohs from fans as the teased tension between champion and sidekick continues to heat up. So that's a story within itself right there. So that's really all I can say on that. So very good segment to start the show. So not much more to say here. Phenom Michael Bullock, come on in. Let's get your thoughts on this opening segment here. As we now know, at Survivor Series, Gunther, Damian Priest, the return match from SummerSlam for the World Heavyweight Championship.
Yeah, and like you said, Damian Priest, he's getting in Gunther's head. And like you said, Gunther was actually starting to doubt himself and he's now facing a ever more confident challenger. And so yeah, the games are definitely being played here. So yeah, definitely a good segment to start off this edition of Raw. So there's really nothing more to say except let's move on, Florio.
All right, Bullock, and you'll lead off on our first match of the night. Now, we noticed there was a backstage moment. The beautiful Kathy Kelly interviewing Io Sky and Kairi Sane of Damage Control, and she announced that there was a 6-woman tag, and we're like, 6? I'm like, wait a minute, there's only 2 of them. Who's their partner? Welcome back to WWE, Dakota Kai. Dakota Kai is back. So it was the 3 members of Damage Control, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and the returning Dakota Kai squaring off against all three members of Pure Fusion Collective, Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. And the winners of the match in 10 minutes and 15 seconds, it was Damage Control. Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and the returning Dakota Kai. Damage Control picks up the win, 10 minutes and 15 seconds, the time of the fall. Well, Bullock, I mean, we got one member of Damage Control back. We're anxiously awaiting the presence of, or I should say the return of the most experienced member of Damage Control, that being the one and only Empress of Tomorrow, Asuka. But for right now, we got Kairi back, we got Dakota back, and well, the Damage Control gets a big win over Pure Fusion Collective, 10-15. Dakota gets her payback on the three women who took her out a few months back.
Yeah, definitely a nice win for Damage Control, and like you said, Dakota Kai getting a little bit of payback after all three members of Pure Fusion Collective put her on the shelf. So yeah, I mean, this was a good match here. I mean, I'll give this about maybe 3.25 on this one. So yeah, definitely welcome back Dakota Kai, and another big boost to the Raw Women's division. So it's yours, Florio.
3.25 for me as well. A good, energetic 6-woman tag saw the right team go over and build momentum for a championship bout that might take place at the next Premium Live event. I don't know. It's possible. Dakota Kai's return in the pre-match backstage promo drew a big response from the fans and a high five from Kathy Kelly. And Wade Barrett called back Io Sky and Zoe Stark's reign as women's tag team champions during their NXT run a few years ago. So we shall see. And so that's really all we can say on that. So this was a good 3 to 3.25 stars. And then coming up after that, we had then there was some backstage stuff, and now here's a backstage moment that most certainly needs to be addressed here. We don't usually address backstage things, but this is one thing that definitely most assuredly needs to be addressed. Jey Uso and Sami Zayn were backstage talking about the OG bloodline reuniting on Friday. Jimmy Uso showed up, and then Sami turned him away. Jimmy asked what Sami's problem was. Jey tried to get him on the same page, and then Jimmy said they need a 5th member for War Games, and Jey said they don't have friends on Monday or Friday. Sami said he might know someone, and then Sami told Jey he would text him, and then after Sami walked away, Jey told Jimmy to be nice. Clearly, there's still tension with Jimmy Uso and Sami Zayn, of course. But now we initially thought this was going to be a 4-on-4 War Games match, but no, it's going to be a 5-on-5 War Games match now. Oh boy, let the speculation begin. And throughout the night, Sami, Jimmy, and Jey, we're seen talking to certain members of the roster. Jey Uso at one point was speaking with Rey Mysterio. But most notably, we saw Sami Zayn reach out to Seth freaking Rollins. And Seth freaking Rollins shot Sami down and said, no. After everything I did to remove Roman from power, and now you want me to help him build him back up? No, absolutely not. So how about that?
So obviously there's still some bitter feelings between Rollins and Roman.
There absolutely is. But Bullock, the most notable thing here, we were thinking, 4-on-4, we're good to go. Nope, it's 5-on-5 now. Now what? Let the speculation begin.
Yeah, there's a lot to think of with this now looking like it's going to be a 5-on-5 traditional War Games match. So I mean, the question now is who's going to be the 5th member on each side? There's a lot to think of. Well, there's only one I could think of when it comes to the new bloodline. And Florio, you and I talked about this during our chat tonight.
We certainly did.
we said we think, well, in my opinion, I think it could be the final boss because remember what Solo Sikoa said at Bad Blood when the final boss showed up.
It's all part of the plan, baby.
Yeah, so in my honest opinion, I think it's got to be the final boss because why on earth would Solo Sikoa say that?
Beats me.
So, and as all three of us have said, we think the final boss is behind this new bloodline.
Oh, he is behind the new bloodline.
Yeah. But now the question is, when it comes to the original bloodline, who would that fifth member be?
Maybe Zillafat too?
I think it could be Zillafat too, because we all know he's on his way to WWE. So
that he is.
So, well, like you said, we're just guessing these. We think it's going to be Zillafat too on the original bloodline, and the final boss on the new bloodline, but only time will tell before we know who that fifth member is going to be. And once again, what's Triple H best known for? That Tony
Tony Khan man has no clue how to do. Long-term booking.
Damn straight. So I think that's what we're seeing right here. So we're going to see in the coming weeks leading up to Survivor Series. So nothing more to say. So it is yours, Florio.
Okay, so let's get into our next match here, which was Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods in his corner, squaring off against Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne wins the match in an even 9 minutes because of yet more tension within the New Day. Born in a backstage confrontation earlier in the night, Kofi Kingston squared off with Pete Dunne in singles competition as his partner Xavier Woods watched from ringside. And after Woods wiped out Dunne at ringside, Kofi confronted his partner, taking exception to his interference. The distraction allowed Pete Dunne to recover and deliver the bitter end for the win. This was a match that doubled as a story advancement, with the tension between Kingston and Woods escalating to the point that the former was finally frustrated and angered by his teammates' selfishness. One of two things is going to happen. Kofi Kingston is going to turn heel and the entire New Day will be on that side, or the split is coming whether longtime New Day fans like it or not. You notice Xavier Woods was noticeably irritated and frustrated by the situation as he seconded Kofi Kingston at ringside. And Xavier Woods is already a great heel and is not even officially turned yet. So definitely something we have to keep an eye on. No question about that. Solid 3 stars for the effort here. So nice win for Pete Dunne. A big win for Pete Dunne. Anytime you can beat a guy a caliber of a Kofi Kingston, a former WWE Intercontinental US Tag Champion, and the whole 9. I mean, you're definitely doing something right. So a big win for Pete Dunne. That could do wonders for him down the road. We'll see. So solid 3. But Michael Bullock, as great as the win is for Pete Dunne, the bigger story in play here, the continuing dissension within the New Day. And it's at the point where the ice is ready to break.
Yeah, and I'll tell you when that ice is going to break. It's going to break when they celebrate 10 years of the New Day, and I think this is where I think the heel turn will be official for Xavier Woods. I think he's not only going to attack Kofi Kingston, but I think he's also going to attack Big E when he appears for that. Maybe go after Big E's surgically repaired neck. I mean, if you want to build heat on Xavier Woods, I think that's the best way to do it. So I'm going to give this about a solid 3 for the effort. So it's yours, Florio.
Okay, and we move on now to another in-ring segment. Big Bronson Reed cutting a promo, interrupted by Seth freaking Rollins. And then once again, whenever Seth Rollins and Bronson Reed get together, all hell always breaks loose. And it got to the point where Adam Pearce angry Adam Pearce, which is the best Adam Pearce. Oh, by the way, seeing him go crazy like we always do, and it was announced next Monday night on that taped Raw. Seth freaking Rollins, Big Bronson Reed, the return match from Crown Jewel. Michael Bullock, another explosive confrontation. Adam Pearce, he says, I've had enough of this. I want this ended. Next week, end it. And you saw how angry he got. Angry Adam, we always say Angry Edge is the best Edge. Angry Adam Pearce is the best Adam Pearce.
Yeah, there were times, especially backstage, where I thought it looked like Pearce's veins were gonna pop out with the way he was. I mean, he wants this whole thing with Seth freaking Rollins and Big Bronson Reed to end right now, and it's gonna end next week. So we'll see what happens with this, but I thought it was a good promo here. I mean, and of course, a really good brawl with these two. So nothing more to say. It's yours, Florio.
Absolutely. And Big Bronson Reed hit the ring for some promo time and wasted no time calling out Seth freaking Rollins. Rollins answered the call and brawled with Reed at ringside. The intensity was there, and the result was another fun pull-apart brawl that hopefully results in the concluding match of this rivalry. It has been great and has done wonders for Bronson Reed, but it feels like it's run its course, and there's little else to get out of it. Reed said, I am not a competitor, I am a monster. And then Rollins recovered and ran across the announce table to cut off an attempted tsunami attempt by Big Bronson Reed. So that's going to be something fun next week. All right. And then before Damian Priest battled Ludwig Kaiser, Rollins met up with Raw General Manager Adam Pearce. All right, MF is here. Just hang on 1 second here. We'll get him caught up in just a matter of moments here. All right. MF, we can get you caught up. Bullock and I just had our turn on our latest segment here. Let's bring in good old MF Michael Fletcher and get him caught up on what he has missed so far as part of this, as part of tonight's Raw here. We started it off with the in-ring segment with Gunther, interrupted by Damian Priest, and then interrupted by Ludwig Kaiser. It sets up Damian Priest versus Ludwig Kaiser later in the night. But MF, the big announcement, Survivor Series. We will get the rematch from SummerSlam, Gunther versus Damian Priest for the heavyweight championship of the world.
Yeah, this is going to be an interesting matchup, no doubt about it. You're going to look forward to that situation, but at the end of the day, yeah, it was fine for what it was worth. They really did a good job there, and there's really nothing more to add. Solid segment to start off Monday Night Raw. So go ahead.
All right. And then from there, we had a 6-woman tag team match. Damage Control, Io Sky, Kairi Sane, and the returning Dakota Kai squaring off against the Pure Fusion collective of Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark. Damage Control winning the match 10 minutes and 15 seconds.
Solid win for them. So good to see Dakota Kai back. I think we can all agree with that.
Absolutely.
She was greatly missed. And it's always good to get them all together. Now there's one person left that we're waiting to see, and that's the Empress of Tomorrow. We get the Empress back. We get Damage Control back in line, lock and step. Who knows? We might have some very interesting fun coming up in the very near future for WWE. So I thought this was a fine match. Maybe about 3 is what I would go with. And gentlemen, it's next segment or whatever's next.
Well, before we move on, MF, I got some good news for you.
That's what. Go ahead. Yes. Say it.
I'm gonna do it for your all-time favorite radio buddy. All right, Miami. Yes. The Miami Dolphins have defeated the Los Angeles Rams 23-15. MF, at long last, the losing streak is over.
Yeah, I mean, winnable games. Put it all together. Hats off to Mike McDaniel. Hats off to Anthony Weaver. Hats off to the team. Tua took a hit, took a little bit of a headshot early in the game, kind of had the Dolphin fans in panic, but he got up, hopped right back up, like, nah, I'm fine. I'm all good. Don't worry. I'm good, guys. That wasn't anything. That helmet, the helmet that he has it looks like it works. It's working. Protected him. We did not get a concussion from Tua. However, Kendall Fuller got a concussion. So hopefully he'll pass protocol. We got a game against the Raiders next week. Another winnable game, possibly. And then, of course, in a couple of weeks, we're gonna have a group outing because that's the big one against New England in Miami at the Hard Rock. So who knows? Maybe things might be turning around for the Miami Dolphins. We'll see. But we still got a long way to go. But great win, team win, no doubt about it. The defense was flying tonight. Tua was doing what he was normally doing. Running game looked pretty good. So all in all, good win for the Miami Dolphins. It gives me a little bit of some. It puts a little pep in my step here tonight on the show. So I'm in a pretty good mood right now. I'll say that.
As you should be. I mean, I know it's been a rough several weeks for you guys, and especially those last two games against that home loss to Arizona. That was one thing. The Buffalo one, I know that set you off, but at least you got this one. You got a couple winnable games coming up, so who knows? Watch out for Miami. Could this be the start of something big, a possible comeback for the Dolphins here? So
I hope so, but the thing is that if you look at the schedule after that, yes, we got a Thanksgiving night game against Green Bay. You never know how that's going to go out. But the final 4 games is absolutely brutal for the Miami Dolphins. I mean, it is bad. How the season ends, Anthony. If you see that schedule, you would be yelling "Oofa!" That's how bad it is. It is tough. It's a tough road, especially
I saw it.
And you see, it gets rough at the end. So,
at Green Bay, home to the Jets, at Houston, home to San Francisco, Cleveland, that's winnable. And then we'll see about the Jets. You never know.
The way the Jets been playing lately, man, I think both games should be winnable games. So maybe that, you never know because, but especially towards the beginning of the year when the initial schedule came out, I was not happy with that end. I thought that was like raw. What the hell? But nah, man, we'll see. But all in all, like I said, I'm feeling good after this win tonight. I'm feeling very good. Confident.
And rightfully so. All right. Then after that, we had a backstage moment with Jey Uso and Sami Zayn with Jimmy Uso. Now, we were speculating that the Bloodline War Games match at Survivor Series 4-on-4, Jimmy said, no, we need a 5th. It's 5-on-5. Now what?
Huh. Man, I don't know. I mean, you want to talk about throwing a curveball because now this opened Pandora's box. Who do you get as a 5th? Who's the 5th guy on each squad? Because not only that, but you also got to look at Solo Sikoa. What is he going to do with the 5th man? Who could he get as their 5th guy? I mean,
the final boss.
Maybe, but I don't know. I don't know what you do. I don't know where you go.
Well, think about it, Fletch. Remember what Solo said at Bad Blood when the final boss came out?
Yeah.
It's all part of the plan.
It's all part of the plan.
Yeah. Is it
Think
possible?
about that for a minute.
That's true, but then okay, fine. If Rock is 5 for Solo Squad, who's the 5th guy for Roman?
Well, we can tell you who it's not going to be, especially after what we saw tonight. It's not going to be Rey Mysterio. And it's sure as heck not going to be Seth freaking Rollins.
But
No.
no, it won't. The only question that I now have now is this where you go to the wise man and, okay, you want to bring a monster? Maybe Roman and the boys might have to bring a beast.
Ooh. And something where we would say, well, here comes the pain.
Yeah.
That would be something.
You never know. I mean,
What about Zilla? What about Zilla Fatu?
Yeah, but the thing is he ready? Has he signed? Because I haven't heard anything about Zilla Fatu being in WWE yet. I know there's rumors, but I know he's nursing an injury because I think he got hurt in MLW, is what I heard. So maybe Zilla might not be ready. If that's the case, then, I mean, where do you go? I mean, look, Roman has history with Brock, but the thing is, Brock would do it for a paycheck. He wouldn't mind destroying The Rock. The Rock and him has history. Hell, The Rock was the one that Brock was the one that ended The Rock. He was the one that when the next
that
big
sent him
thing
packing to Hollywood.
Yeah. So you don't think that The Rock hasn't forgotten about all those times? He's looking for retribution in his own right. And the thing is, he was not one of the guys who helped out during that Bloodline Rules at WrestleMania. So, I mean, you would think, okay, process by elimination. Cena? No, because God knows Cena will come back in 25. We already know that because his retirement tour begins in 25. So I don't think Cena would be the one. You can't do Taker.
What about a certain rattlesnake?
I don't think Austin would do it.
Well, because remember, we were supposed
Austin was originally supposed to do Mania, but then I think it was money. They couldn't agree on money, and that's why Austin was out, and that's why Taker took over, because they couldn't agree on a financial agreement because of that. Because Austin was originally supposed to come out and challenge The Rock. But because Austin couldn't do it because I think it was a money issue, that's why Taker showed up and absolutely sent Michael Bullock through the roof because none of us saw Taker coming. We all were thinking, all right, Austin, where you at? Gong, what?
Oh, that was my ultimate reaction. And I was also like,
yeah, Bullock joined. It was usually the Corey and Sean from Boy Meets World. That's me and MF all the way. But that was the rare time that Bullock did it with us.
Yeah. I yelled out, what?
I'm like,
the lights went out, and then the lights come back
is he here?
And then Michael Bullock was the one that yelled out, oh my God. He's
here.
He started freaking out, losing his mind. Like, he was literally shaking the table. He was so excited to see Taker.
And it was the first time in years that The Rock and The Undertaker were in the same ring.
Mm-hmm.
A very long time. I mean, like I said.
And the final boss got the smackdown laid on him by The Undertaker.
Yeah.
The original final boss.
How do you like that, you little jabroni?
The original final boss.
So, like I said, it could be anybody. We don't know. There was rumors about maybe Braun Breaker being it, but I don't think Braun would do it. I don't know.
Well,
so
Jimmy
many
Uso.
Questions.
Remember, Bullock? Jimmy Uso. Didn't Jimmy Uso have a little moment with Braun Breaker?
Yeah, he did.
He did. Yep.
So, like I said, let the speculation begin.
And also, Braun Breaker had a little face-to-face with Jacob Fatu.
Yeah, he did. Yes, he did. And it looked like two bulls in the china shop was about to wreck some stuff.
And oh, by the way, next week, on a taped Monday Night Raw. Yes, another taped show.
Yep.
I know a lot of people say, really?
Unfortunately, folks, it is. Yeah. Well. If you guys, you have to understand, and actually, this one makes sense. They want to give the guys the Thanksgiving off. They want to give them the whole week off of Thanksgiving. So I think WWE is doing the right thing by doing it that way. No arguments from this. From this panel.
Even though Thanksgiving's not until the 28th, really, but still. Yeah, that is a nice gesture. I can certainly understand that. But we got to remember, Thanksgiving week is also go home week for the Survivor Series. So
true.
So, or it could be or it could be some more. There could be some more international shows. I got to look and see what that's about. But nonetheless, it's a tape show.
International. I don't think there's anything international unless you want to talk about Canada because I think they're supposed to do a tour through Canada this upcoming week.
Well, but nonetheless, excuse me.